Sean Payton had off-season eye surgery, which is why the Denver Broncos quarterback competition in day 2 of training camp is now becoming crystal clear. We get fantastic news about a star player on this Broncos team, and when the rest of the league, the wheels are coming off. Multiple teams, big injuries. Denver Broncos are healthy through day 2 of training camp. We're going to whip all around those stories and a ton more. If you're new to the channel, I'm Ben, a diehard Denver Broncos fan, and it helps me out a ton if you like the Broncos, if you would consider liking and subscribing. So the first great piece of news that just broke today is all around Courtland Sutton, and he is our wide receiver 1 going into the year. Whether or not he deserves a Justin Jefferson type deal or deserves to be paid as much as Jerry Jeudy, the fact is he has produced for so many different quarterbacks and has been one of the bright spots of this team over the past, 8 years of missing the NFL playoffs, that he has had clutch catch after clutch catch. And I have been beyond impressed with how he has handled this entire dispute about how he's paid. It sucks that he is not paid as well as receivers that he's definitely better than. And I have just loved how he's handled himself, and the Denver Broncos reward him. He did not have to come to mandatory OTAs. We see Ayuk holding out. We see CeeDee Lamb holding out. We see all these players who are holding out, and Courtland Sutton has been here for it. And all along, it's revealed today that George Payton has been having ongoing conversations with his agent. That's why Courtland Sutton a couple days ago tweeted the picture that just said close, and it is not close anymore. It is over the line, and it is done. So Courtland Sutton, a very good deal for the Denver Broncos when it comes to the cap, and we didn't break the bank. We can win now, and if he balls out of control, we bring him back again and keep him here. But what the Denver Broncos did, I think, is the best type of deal that they could do. They were able to bump up what Courtland Sutton could potentially make by $1.5 million by offering him a ton of escalators and incentives. And to me, this is going to make him just even hungrier than he already was. And I know he is hungry and wants to prove the rest of the league wrong. He came out and said, hey, this isn't a 3-year rebuild. We're going to be good now. And now we have so many Broncos players in prove-it positions who are either on contract years or have the ability to make an extra $1.5 million just by hitting some incentives. So we now have Cooper on his contract year. We got Javonte Williams on a contract year. We got Baron Browning on a contract year. We know Pat Surtain wants to get the bag, and I just think that is going to help a young team who already was hungry to prove all the doubters wrong. Now they have even more of a reason to ball out of control, and I think that's what we're going to see in Sutton. So this is the perfect type of deal for me, because this is a win now move, but it's also a doesn't break the bank for us, because if he doesn't hit those incentives or whatever happens, it does not hurt us going down the line, and we're not hamstrung by a contract that we can't fulfill or that hurts us for years to come. So mad props to Courtland Sutton, mad props to George Payton for getting this done, and that is just fantastic news. Again, Sean Payton called it. He's like, hey, this is going to happen. And now we are rewarding this player who's going to be a leader on the field, off the field, and really set the tone for the Broncos this year. He's going to be a great person to help Bo Nix develop, knowing that he's an amazing safety blanket with a huge catch radius. Sean Payton has just gushed and glowed this offseason about the size of our wide receiver room. We are just stacked with Vele, with him, with Tim Patrick. We just have size all over the place. And then our guys who aren't huge like him have a really specific skill set in their ability to cut fast, or their route running, or their top end speed. And I think that just really sets us up. Sean Payton had an amazing anecdote today about the first time he played against the San Francisco 49ers and watching all the receivers get off the bus and just being blown away about their size. And that is what Sean Payton wants, is a bunch of big dudes who take up a ton of space on the field and are yet very fast. So now the next thing is that the Broncos quarterback competition is really starting to get some clarity. And so we know dividing snaps up over 3 players for a whole training camp and whole preseason does not help any of them get better. We need to quickly decide who is going to be the quarterback 1 and give them as many first team reps as possible. Now, my hope is that is going to be with Bo Nix. But, obviously there are a lot of people who think we have another fishing rod in the water with Zac Wilson. And what we're starting to see is some clarity and I think it is down to 2 now. And I think tomorrow is going to be very telling, and we'll look at that in a second. But the biggest knocks on Bo Nix coming into this entire pre-draft process and through the offseason was that he didn't have the arm strength that a Zac Wilson did, or obviously like a Mahomes or a Josh Allen type. But I think he's starting to put those to doubt. Like yesterday, we showed a video. He threw a little behind Tim Patrick, but he zipped that ball in there, and I think his arm strength is drastically underplayed, and I don't know if that's he worked on it a lot this offseason or he got stronger, but take a look at this dart that he just throws here with a little pump fake, little hezzy there, and just this, on a rope, perfectly placed right there to Tim Patrick. Also amazing Tim Patrick is feeling good and not hurt here. But I think all the rumors about Bo Nix not having the arm strength that it takes, like there's no corner that would have been able to like jump that. That is a perfectly placed ball on a line down the side of the field. And so I think we're starting to see Bo Nix has the arm strength to do it. We've always known he has what it takes between the ears. Like he's a coach's son, a quarterback's son, a film junkie. And so now if he has the arm strength to match the smarts, like that is a very, very good thing. I think this is now down to 2 quarterbacks deciding who is going to be our starting quarterback going into week 1 in Seattle. And I think Zac Wilson is out of the hunt. And I think that for a number of reasons. Obviously, I know we've just had 2 days of training camp, but you have seen both of those days be days where the Zac Wilson has been graded down quite a bit. And then I think this answer from Sean Payton, and noticeably like the 6 seconds it took him to respond to the answer, and then the less than glowing result of what he said really lets me know that Zac Wilson is kind of out of the picture as far as that is concerned. So watch this as he asked how Zac Wilson looks, and just I'm going to let this 6 seconds of awkwardness breathe. And this is not very common for Sean Payton to have a pause like this in the middle of a press conference.
I think we'll be able to see that a little bit clearer in the games. But look, he's learning a new offense.
So I think he's desperately trying to pump in confidence to Zac Wilson, desperately trying to find something good to say. But the fact that was the response that he had to Zac Wilson, and then the way that all of us are kind of preparing for this quarterback competition to work is that Stidham got first team reps yesterday, Bo got him today, and then tomorrow should be Zac Wilson. And so they were asked about that, and they said, hey, so Zac's going to have the first team reps tomorrow, and this is how Sean Payton responded to that.
Yeah, and I said I'd fill you in tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, but I'll fill you in before, when you see it.
It reminds me of a boss I used to have who would send us the link to places we were supposed to be in the place we were supposed to be. And she'd always be like, yeah, the link to the back channel is in the back channel. So Sean Payton won't have a chance to fill us in until we've already seen who the starter is tomorrow. But to me, that is him saying that Zac Wilson will not be starting with the first team tomorrow. And if he already, even before padded practices have started, if Zac Wilson is already out of it and it takes him 6 seconds to come up with something good to say about him, I'm not saying Zac Wilson will never be a good quarterback again. And I just think we need to start throwing all of our eggs in this Bo Nix basket and decide who that quarterback is going to be that we develop quickly and not waste any developmental reps on anyone else other than the quarterback we want playing week 1. So I think do not be surprised to see the Broncos quarterback competition drop from 3 to 2 even this week. We know first padded practices were going to be Saturday. That is moved till Monday, but that's going to be crazy interesting to watch how all that plays out. We heard great news about how much weight indeed. It looks like Javonte Williams lost 11 pounds, which is a ton of weight to lose when you're, under 6 foot tall. And so that's awesome just seeing that he's put in the work. He's quit snacking after 7 o'clock at night. I do intermittent fasting myself. Helped me. I lost 100 pounds, and one of the ways I keep it off is intermittent fasting. So awesome that he has done that for sure. Then just seeing here, the other great news that we're seeing is that other strategies for team development and kicking the can down the road. I think just how the Denver Broncos went about signing Quinn Meinerz early on in the process it just avoids a ton of problems that you're going to have later on in the year. And just seeing those problems arise for other NFL franchises like the Dallas Cowboys should make you feel good about our organization moving forward. So they're in a spot now with Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb, and Dak Prescott, where there's no way they can give all the money to all those people. And Jerry Jones really should have done something 2-3 years ago to avoid this problem. And that is what we have done by structuring Quinn Meinertz's deal like we did. He avoids going into this offseason and getting the biggest deal for offensive linemen in the whole NFL. And so that's fantastic how we're building there. Other great things that we're seeing now as training camp is underway. Awesome to see Tim Patrick come down with a great pass down the sidelines and not be hurt, because I'm totally in here with Lindsey Bout. Don't know even who that is, but this is totally how I feel, that you're starting to get to that time in the season where you're just hoping when you pick up your phone that you don't see an ESPN notification that Tim Patrick is injured for the year, because across the NFL, we are getting injuries all over the place. The Rams lost a starting corner, and it looks like the Minnesota Vikings also lost a very promising corner as well to ACL injury. So I love this ramp-up period and how thoughtful Sean Payton has been to structure it like he has. You know, his first year here, we're one of the most injured teams in the league before he got here. And then his first year here last year, we were the least injured team. So I just trust him to continue that so that we keep getting great news here because we got a lot to believe in.